welcome back to Woman Once Removed, my life story. Today I want to do part 2 of Carmen. I didn't get to get into everything the last time. I did mention the fact that there was 2 episodes that I had with Carmen. But I'll leave that till later in the story. I'll tell you now that Carmen, by trade, was a stripper. She had the cutest shape to her body. There's beautiful legs and thighs and everything. Her body was beautiful. Even though she had very small hormone breasts, she knew how to professionally strip. She would come on the stage in a gorgeous gown, and her hair, well, she would have a wig on, long and full and all that. And she stripped, and of course her clothes were stripping kind of clothes, and they would break apart kind of stuff. And of course underneath she would have, you know, the stripping bra, and they would be pushed up with her small breasts to look really big. And she would end the thing with taking everything off. And if you heard my other story where Carmen was able to tuck herself to where she could walk and even spread her legs, and it looked like she had a vagina. And that's how she would end her strip shows. She would take that wig off and throw it like she would throw her pieces of clothes, and shake her long hair out, and then step there and spread her legs with her hands on her hips. I mean, she would have a standing ovation. People went nuts because she was so good with what she did. Yeah, she was really good. I wish back in those days that we would have had video cameras and things that we could have used. We just didn't have them. If they were even regular VHS, if they were invented at that time, they were for the rich. We didn't have them. We didn't have access to them. So there were no videos or movies or anything of any of us back then. And very little bit of pictures and things. And there were pictures that were made for publicity, and then they were used in advertising. But most of us weren't photographed very much, except by fans. You know, if fans are out there that have pictures of Carmen, please let me know. Hit me up, because I'd love to have some pictures. Somebody that can scan some pictures of Carmen, and I'd do a video just for pictures of Carmen, because I would love to put my eyes on her again. She's back in the back of my mind, but I can't remember all the details, but I would give anything to see that. Well, this second story that I'm going to tell you about is embarrassing, because I told you the first one was not my fault. I was framed. The second one was my fault. I haven't said anything about Mark, her husband. He was extremely good looking. And of course everybody just thought, you know, they liked to look at him and flirt with him and everything, because they knew he was with a trans woman. Well, during the time that I lived upstairs from Mark and Carmen, he began to flirt with me some. More than he should have. And I, being a girl from the country, I was very attracted to him. And I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed that I let it come to that. But I did. And one day, I pretended to be sick so that I could stay home from work. This was after Carmen was already working with me at the Vogue. So, Mark came up and tapped on the door. And we spent a blissful evening in my bed. He was everything I could ever have dreamed he would be. He was a man who had been taught by Carmen. So he knew how to treat a trans woman. He knew how to make a trans woman feel exactly like a woman. He never touched or spoke of anything that was there that shouldn't be there. He never mentioned it. And he made love to me like I had never been made love to before. Well, it wasn't long after everything was finished and he was gone that Carmen comes home from work early. Someone who was downstairs gave her a phone call, whispered in her ear. So she knew exactly what had went on. And she commenced whooping my ass again. I didn't even try to fight back or explain anything other than to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm glad now that it happened because, not that I actually slept with this girl's husband. I'm glad that I got caught. I'm glad that I got my butt whipped because I deserved it. And it stayed in my mind, and I realized just how bad that was. At that time, I had never had a husband, so never a steady boyfriend, that kind of thing. So I needed this as a wake-up call to say, you don't do this sort of thing. So afterwards, she came back up there. Of course, she was crying, saying how sorry she was, that Mark was the fault. It was his fault. He was a pig. So we made up and we were friends. We had no hard feelings that I know of for the rest of her life. But she sure whipped my ass that night. She did. And I deserved every bit of it. So hey, if any of y'all have had any experience like this, please put it in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, bye-bye.